Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunitha, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. It is cherry blossom season on the North Fork, and there is a little bit of rain today, but the flowers are just bursting to life. It is one of the most beautiful and unexpected sights on the North Fork because you don't think of Long Island when you think of cherry blossoms, but I'm grateful and lucky enough to have a few trees in my yard. So as I'm staring out the window, I see, I think some of them are magnolia, some of them are cherries, but it is so beautiful. So if you have a chance to walk around in Greenport, do so this month. I think there's several different varieties, some that bloom now and a few that bloom in May. So I think it lasts a little bit longer, but it's definitely a fun time. I think there are a few events. I think it's the Greenport Council that hosts the Cherry Blossom Walk. When I find the link for it, I'll tag it. But it's definitely a beautiful way to enjoy. But spring is perfect. And then, of course, followed by summer, which, is beach season. So today on the show, we are featuring a really delicious neighborhood gem. Good morning, Allie. How are you?
Hi, Sunita. How are you?
So good. Are you ready
Good.
for this? I see you have your cup of coffee.
I do. I've been here a while.
You look like you're in your kitchen already cooking up
We
things.
are. We are in the kitchen already. I said to Fritz, no talking while this is going on. I took everything out of the oven before this
So
started.
no beeping, no nothing.
Yeah,
It's so
no.
wonderful to have you on. Now, I was talking about the cherry blossoms because I can see them out my window. I know
Yeah.
Greenport has them, but there aren't that many in Mattituck, right? Is it really a
No.
Greenport thing?
It mostly is a Greenport thing, certain we do have a few trees here and there, but I do notice the pink starting to pop up, which I love. And
Isn't it?
our house has it doesn't have either a cherry blossom or a magnolia. It has some other kind of pink tree, and I was like, I always wanted a pink tree in my yard, so now I have it. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
and I
Uh,
visited a friend of mine locally right here in Peconic, and she has one of those weeping willows, which are
uh-huh.
beautiful, but we were
Yeah,
both joking and lamenting that they last literally like 2 days, those
I
blooms.
know. I
And
know.
then she was like, of course it's going to rain, and that's going to be the end of that.
I know. I know. That happens. We used to rent a house that had rhododendrons everywhere, and it's literally like a week or 10 days.
Yeah.
And one year we had a giant storm, and everything disappeared in like a day. It was a bummer. So
Well, like I said, I'm talking about it because I can literally see them out my window, like right there. So that's what I'm distracted by.
that's
But when
nice.
the storms come, the petals fall on the driveway and on my front deck or my
Yeah,
front steps, and it's like magical. I don't even want to step on it. It's
I
like a carpet of petals. So it's
I
a
know.
beautiful
That's
season.
pretty. That's
Good
pretty.
morning, Tracy. How are you?
Good morning. But my alarm clock tried to trick me today, so I'm just a few minutes late. I'm
Hi,
good.
You're
Tracy.
good. You're good. You're good. Actually, you and I are going to be in Greenport this weekend, right? So
Yes.
you and I can catch some of the cherry blossom blooms. I looked at the map because there's some side streets that have like literally street lined on both sides. So we need to
Yes,
find those and drive through those.
Yes,
it's
that was
pretty beautiful. I do that almost every year. Walk those streets. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
And a lot of restaurants, I don't know how we got sidetracked onto this, but a lot of restaurants have like cherry blossom specials. They'll make drinks
Oh,
and there's like a
really?
Oh, is that
whole
true? I didn't know that.
there's a
That's cool.
whole celebration. I'll post a link of that. There's even a 5K run or walk. Like there's a whole celebration of cherry blossoms
Wow.
in
Cool.
Greenport. Yes,
Cool.
yes,
I'm
yes. So we're gonna have to do.
glad one of us is in the know.
All right, let's jump into it, Allie.
All right.
Share with our audience who you are and what you do.
My name's Katz. I own a bakery and gourmet food shop with my husband, Fritz Beckman. We've been here. This will be our sixth year. This summer will be our sixth summer. And we do a lot of pastries. We started doing pastries. He didn't work here when I opened this. We started doing pastries and coffee, and we have a little gift shop up front, and we would do a few salads. But then when COVID hit, he used to work for Lucharitas. He came to work with me, not for me, with me. And we started a real prepared business. Like, we do soups. We have a whole freezer full of soups, lasagna, mac and cheese, meatballs and sauce, things like that, or people can pull to go. And then we do our pastries and some salads and things like that. And it's in the same parking lot as Wendy's Deli, which is what everybody knows on the North Road. A little shopping center that you could just fly by.
Is that Cutchog or Southold?
It's Mattituck.
It's Mattituck.
It's Mattituck.
Okay.
It's Mattituck.
Okay,
Right?
but I want to take a step back though,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you just glossed over what you guys used to do, but
Yes.
both of you have a very impressive culinary history.
Oh, thank
So
you.
can we
Thank
talk
you.
a little bit about
Sure.
the fact that you're both chefs
Yes.
and a little bit of background on where you and Fritz has worked before you did this little mine pa shop in this
Okay.
tiny strip mall?
Right. I never expected to ever be here. We lived in New York City. Fritz went to the CIA up in New Hyde Park, and I went to the French Culinary Institute in Soho. And my first career was as a merchandiser in the fashion industry, and I left that around 2001. So I went to the French Culinary, and then after that I worked in restaurants a little bit, but because it was a second career, I knew I couldn't do restaurants that much, all the time. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I worked at the Boathouse in Central Park first, and then when I went to culinary school, I went for the whole program, not just pastries, but I love baking. So when I got out, I focused more on that, but I wanted to do the whole program because I knew it would be easier to get a job if I needed to get a job knowing more. So then I worked for Abigail Kirsch, doing production at her pastry kitchen for a long time. I would say that was the best learning experience I ever had in my life.
You at a particular venue, or did you service all the venues?
I did the production for all the venues, but mostly on the piers on the West Side Highway.
So I've worked with you before because I work at Pier 60 all the time.
Really? Well, it was a very long time ago. It was like 2004. No, 2005 that I worked there probably.
We might have crossed paths.
That's so funny. We might have. Well, usually I didn't work the events. I did all the production. So it's like if you needed 2,000 brownies, it was me who made them. Or if you needed 500 of this. And I also worked at Martha Stewart. I did recipe testing there for a while. And then I worked as a private chef for 15 years. 14 for the same family. I actually only stopped working for them when COVID hit. So I still, even when I owned this store, I went in once a week and did their shopping and their cooking. But once COVID hit, that wasn't going to work. So, and then Fritz has worked at every big restaurant you could ever think. He worked at the Russian Tea Room. He worked at Tavern on the Green. He worked at Morimoto. He worked at Tao.
Wow.
So we've been around for a while.
I'm in awe of the collective culinary experience.
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because if someone drives past Mattituck, like the strip mall that you're talking about, it's not immediately apparent that the two of you working there are bringing so much delicious experience to the North Fork.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then when we came out here, even more to add to that, we both worked at the North Fork Table and Inn. So Fritz ran the food truck there when Jerry and Claudia owned it, and I worked for Claudia in the pastry kitchen. So, and also worked with Amanda, who runs Barrow House. So we all have known each other and have worked together for a while. It's old school cooking way to come up in the business. So
that is an impressive resume for both of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right, so I'm just thinking if when we're biting into a cookie or gathering a fork full of something that you've created to eat, there is this long history of what you've been doing before, to create that deliciousness and that bite. So now you said after culinary school you wanted to focus on pastry, which is where you started, but now I see that your restaurant / shop is morphing more into food. So talk a little bit more about what you currently offer
Um,
at Alley Cat's Kitchen?
well, it has morphed into that mostly because of Fritz. I run the whole business, like from the social media to the bills to everything about the shop. So the little gift shop up front, which is like my favorite thing to do, that I run all that. Fritz is in charge mostly of the the savory foods, except for I would say I do the quiches and the freeform galettes that we sell a lot of, and I do all the pastries. He has at least one soup fresh a week, but then we have a whole freezer case of soups. He does fried chicken every Saturday all year round, where you call up an order, and he does a half a chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy, or when it gets warm, um, potato salad and green beans and a biscuit. In the winter, and it's going away soon, but on Thursday nights when we're not open, he does a noodle bowl. So people call up, it's an udon noodle bowl, and then you serve it hot, and you pick it up. It's a quart of udon noodles with baby spinach and shiitake mushrooms and like a ginger sake broth. It's really delicious. We had that last night for dinner, and so we do all that, and then he just fills the case, constantly fills the case. And then we do small catering. We don't go to catering things, but like if somebody says like, oh, we're having 10 people over, you know, could you make us something? We try to put something together for them, that they can pick up and serve themselves. Um, and then occasionally we do small dinners for people,
And
not often.
and for those of us who are interested in swinging by and picking up some of those prepared foods,
Yes.
what are your hours? What time do you close at the end of the day?
Well, we are open. We're always open for retail Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, all year round. In the summer, those are still our hours. We are Fridays we do 10 to 4. Sundays we do 9 to 4. And no, Saturdays we do 9 to 4. And Sundays we do 9 to 2. The reason for our short retail hours is that we have a pretty big wholesale business,
Oh,
was which was one of the things that we did when we started the business. When I first came out here, and when I first came out here, before we even worked with the North Table, I did a farmer's market on Shelter Island where I sold my baked goods, and I sat next to Holly Browder, and I sat next to Ira from KK's, and I met them, and this is like 2000, the summer of 2011, and Holly was like, I need somebody to make things for my farm stand. Like, I don't have any like value-added products. So when I first came out here, I rented space in the Calverton kitchen, which is an incubator kitchen, and I would make her quiches, and I would make her, we would make her chicken stock from her chicken bones. So we now do that for Browders. We do it for Feisty Acres, who actually just moved upstate, but we're still working with them. We do it we drop stuff. We don't make stuff value added product for them anymore because Sylvester Manor on Shelter Island has gotten too populated, so they never have leftover vegetables. But we service them with with our soups, our baked goods, our cookies. We send like 60 bags of cookies a week to them during the summer. So we can't open for retail all week long.
yeah.
Also, most people don't buy like baked goods all week long. So our customers have kind of gotten used to like those are our hours, and they know we're here like for wholesale. So they'll knock on the door, and we let them in, and they can cruise through the freezer case and stuff like that. And we do special pickups because we're definitely here 6 days a week in the summertime. But
Okay, working.
Okay, so that's your
yeah,
kitchen. You're there, but
yes,
in terms of what you're offering for retail is
well,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yeah,
But then
yeah.
is it, I mean, and obviously you don't have seating. It's not like a restaurant,
No,
it's
there's
all
no
to go.
seating. Yeah.
But then the soups that you create and stuff, like you mentioned, the freezer or refrigerator section, there's things people can pick up and stack up on.
Yeah, that freezer is out in the shop. So the shop is like a little shop in the front, and then in the back is a kitchen. So you don't even you can see the kitchen, but it's completely separate. So Yeah, so our freezer case, if we're here, if you want to come in and take something out of the freezer case, we're always happy to help people out. And also, if you know, like, especially in the busier season, if you're like, on Wednesday, I need to pick up 10 scones, I can do that. You
Yeah.
just have to pre-order it. We do a lot of pre-ordering, which started during COVID and has kind of kept us going because it's easier.
Yeah.
But we always have our case, like a freezer case is always fun. So
That's great.
yeah, it's good. And we have a very loyal customer base, so it's very very nice. One of the great things about living here on this North Fork of
Well,
ours.
that's a perfect segue. I was going to ask you. So you talked about your, extensive culinary experience in Manhattan.
Yeah.
What brought you guys out to the North Fork?
Well, my parents lived in East Hampton, and they had retired out there, in I don't know, in the early 2000s, and my mom got very sick, so I took a job in the city at the Calhoun School because they have it's a private school, but they have a farm to table um, culinary program there where all the food for the kids is made from scratch. So all the people who worked in the kitchen were chefs.
Wow.
And I wanted a job that I could spend time with my mom. So I worked the school year there, and then I um, came out here and worked at the Raw School, which also has the same kind of program. I worked there in the summertime. And Fritz changed his schedule at Morimoto to work weekdays so he could come out on the weekends. And I have been used to being out here. I love it. I had been to the North Fork a few times, but I mostly been on the South Fork. And Fritz had never been out here because he's from St. Louis and knew nothing about this area. And he was like, "Why do we live in the city?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't know. I love the city. What are you talking about? I love, love, love it." And he goes, "All we do is work. And then we're at home in our tiny apartment or we're on the subway. Why are we living there?" And when my mom passed away, my dad was like, "I'm not leaving here. I love it." And we were like, "Well, we kind of want to be closer." So we did a little investigating. That was the first summer we did that pop up on Shelter Island. Then we met through Holly Browder. We met Claudia and Jerry, and we got a job. And then we were here. We commuted from East Hampton for a year, which was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we love it on the North Fork, and I think we can afford to live there. Now we can't afford to live on the South Fork, and nor do we really, love it
Well,
there.
you got in before the threshold bar of where we
Yeah.
can say we can afford to live here.
Yeah. In fact, I think that thank you to Melinda at Arnie's Bakery, because right as COVID hit, she was a realtor, and I had been looking houses, and I said, "I need you to get me into this house. The price just dropped." And I think I got the last house that the price dropped on the North Fork. And I was like, we went in without a realtor. We did an inspection without a realtor, and we bought the house. But we were like, I think that was the last house.
Wow.
Well, I've recently started saying that if I didn't already live here,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I could afford to live here, or at least afford to buy a house, I should say.
Right.
That,
Yeah.
Right. And we live like right down the street from our store. So
wow, that's awesome.
the best. I know. It couldn't be better. So that's what brought us here. It's beautiful. I mean, you walk outside every day, you're like, I can't believe I live in such a beautiful place.
I know.
So,
that's awesome. Tell me a little bit. I want to hear a little bit more about what kind of soups do you have that are popular that people can come and grab, and also I want to hear about your cookies because I know you brought some. We were talking about Melinda and the web group. So you do holiday catering and cookies. So I want to hear a little bit more about what you offer there.
Okay, so our soups are seasonal for the most part, but there's some that we offer all year round, like Italian wedding soup, mushroom barley soup. Like at this time, we're about to go out of our butternut squash soup. We do zucchini soup. We have a customer who wants it all year round, so even when it's not zucchini season, we get
I don't
zucchini
know
in it.
if I've ever had zucchini
It's
soup.
so
I don't know that I have either.
delicious. It's delicious,
I see
and
Aki
also,
on here
Yeah.
saying yum. I mean, she
yes,
makes some delicious soups herself, so
I've heard
that's
that.
my
I've heard
praise.
that. We've just kind of met through social media. We haven't met in person yet. Because we both have this thing where people come into our store and they're like, I've had your soup. And we're like, no, it's Allie, not Aki. It's Aki, not Allie.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. But, um, so in the summer, we do a roasted tomato soup. We do, I'm trying to think we have so many soups.
I know,
Um,
that's why I'm asking, because those are easy to stock and have in your fridge,
yes,
and when you're
yes,
having a bad day, just pop it out of the freezer, and you don't have
yes.
to cook, and you're ready
We
to
have
go.
we do a veggie minestrone soup all year round and a Tuscan white bean. The two of them are the same soup, but one is made with chicken stock and one is made with veg stock. A lot of our soups are either vegetarian or vegan.
Well, you also do
Oh.
kosher, don't you? Or at
We
least,
don't do kosher.
it's not
No.
kosher, but you do like holiday
Yeah, we
food.
do some holiday food like for Passover we do macaroons and we do some we offer all of our gluten-free cakes. And we do matzo ball soup. We do matzo ball soup and it's a big business. We could sell matzo ball soup all year round, but it's a lot to do. But we do that at Hanukkah. We do what do we do at Hanukkah? We just do applesauce. We don't do the latkes anymore. That's too much work.
Well,
And we also
I just do know that you do holiday foods because I have friends that like to order, and I
yes,
do get to enjoy
Yeah.
it. So
yeah,
that's good
yeah.
for me.
And we do a lot of Christmas stuff. So and Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving we do a lot too. We do like we do everything but the bird for Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So which is a
And
big business.
is it like pre-order that
That
people can pick up and
is
hand to the
pre-order.
Yeah.
table? Oh,
Yes.
I can
awesome.
imagine.
Yes. Yeah. We take orders for that like up till about 10 days before Thanksgiving. And then we put out a menu probably a month before Thanksgiving. So yeah, it's a big, so we do all that. We have a lot of soups. We do lentil soup. That's another one that's a
Oh,
vegetarian.
you're
Um,
listing all my favorites.
Good. Well, you'll have to stop in.
Yes.
And then we sell a lot of our lasagna bolognese, our meatballs and sauce. Um, we do little mini pot pies that are frozen in our
How
freezer
do you have
case.
so much food on that tiny little counter? I mean,
We,
literally.
we work in a restaurant long enough. You're like, you figure it out. There's two big freezers out there, and I don't know. We figure it out. It's a lot of work. I will say that. This is our first summer that I'm actually considering hiring somebody to just like scoop cookies all day and package
Yeah.
cookies and things like that. We've never had somebody work here except for Ayana, who does 1610 sourdough. She started here. We had her bread oven here, and she used to work here. We did like a barter. She worked, and I let her put her oven here, and now we sell her bread. I'm so proud of her.
That's
So
wonderful.
her breads are great. So
Well,
um,
that's a perfect lead into, the community and the North Fork collaborations that happen. You've mentioned many of them throughout your conversation this morning. I'm going to go ahead and kick off our NOFO Live 5 and
okay,
ask you, when you're not cooking, if you
okay,
had the time,
yes.
to take Sunita and I out to lunch or dinner, where would you take us?
Guarana is an all-time favorite of ours. I love
Not
Guarana.
far from Tracy.
No, no.
Yeah.
I don't know where Tracy lives, but I love Guarana. And Brett, who's the waiter there, is the best. Barrow House always is like a go-to. Those are favorites. I also love Sterling Sake in Greenport and 1943. And I actually just tried Pearl and really liked it.
They have delicious bread.
Well, that was
Sunita and I
few years ago. Yeah.
we talk about their bread all the time.
Really?
It was
I thought they had like,
grilled and charred with olive oil.
I'm sure
It was
it was delicious.
Yeah.
Everything I ate at Pearl was delicious. So that is a new favorite. So those are my faves. restaurant-wise. We don't go out to eat very much.
Well, you have enough delicious food of
And,
your own.
and to be perfectly honest with you, I eat like cereal sometimes. At the
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're like, I'm over it. I don't want to see anything right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. Now, you mentioned you're not far from where your kitchen is in Mattituck. So, do you happen to catch a sunrise or a sunset? And what's your go-to spot?
Sunset, sunrise. If I don't need to get up early, I'm not getting up early. I get up early for here, so when on my day off, I lie in bed. But sunset down by Breakwater is beautiful. Just a gorgeous sunset.
That's a beautiful beach. That's a
It is.
beautiful beach.
It is.
Okay, cocktail, wine, beer, mocktail. What's your go-to, and where might we see you enjoying one?
I make cocktails at home. I'm new to the cocktail thing, so I do make cocktails, but I do them at home. If I'm gonna drink wine, which I do also drink, I drink. I love Macari. We actually got married to Macari, so
Oh,
I'm a sucker for Macari, but I also love McCall's. Fritz is beautiful. So Borghese, love Borghese. You can't. There's really not bad wine places. We love, and any place we go out here. If you can sit outside and enjoy the view and drink some good wine, and we know a lot of the winemakers. We actually do pop-up dinners with some of them. We did we do a Black Cat Supper Club in the winter, once a month. So this winter we did two with Borghese with Alyssa. She comes and talks about wine, and we set up like 16 seats in the kitchen, and everybody has dinner. It's really nice. We did one with Robin from Salford. We've done it with Allie from Chronicle. And then beer, Greenport, Greenport Brewery. The Duck Porter is my favorite there. The Black
Nice.
Duck Porter.
So you mentioned things that are in season. Do you shop locally at farm stands? Do you source locally? Who do you work with?
We try to source as locally as we can. We get personally and for the store, we buy a lot at WOAC, which is in Laurel. It's one of the best. They have the best cantaloupes and watermelons you've ever had in your life.
Wow.
And
wait. What do you like there? Because I know we're going to start making a list of what people like where.
Oh,
I've never heard cantaloupe there.
WOAC has the best cantaloupe and watermelon, but also like their zucchini, their green beans, their asparagus.
I've had the corn. It's great.
Yeah,
I
corn is great.
So I'm making a list.
Yeah, yes. Everything that WOAC grows is fantastic. So we shop for them for our house and also for the store when we can, when they're open. We also shop at Bayview. We shop, there's a little farm stand. There's a couple farm stands in Riverhead that we go to. Zaneskis, I think, Anderson's, and then there's these two guys on Mill Road that I do not know what the name of their farm stand is, but we buy from them all the time.
Those are the best, right? Because you knew they grew them in the backyard, and that's all they have, and they put it out like there's no doubt what you're getting. Yeah.
I know. And WOAC. I mean, I can't say enough about them. Their vegetables.
And
they're so good.
And you're not alone. Quite a few people mentioned WOAC and
but usually I hear about corn and something else. Like Tracy, you really need to work on that list because I know. I forget what corn.
We need an intern.
There you go. Maybe they can make your list and scoop my cookies.
Yes.
That would be good.
Exactly.
We'll barter because you were saying that, and that my heart was feeling so warm. But the reality is that is part of the North Fork life. Yeah. That is how life works here, and it's so wonderful and magical and special.
It is. It's so supportive, and so nobody's out for themselves.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants it to be a beautiful place where everybody is, everyone's doing okay.
Yeah.
I wish the world was more like that.
Well, I would ask you the last question, but you basically just answered it, which is why do you like being a part of the North Fork? But you did just answer it, that we had this beautiful microcosm of, and we wish the rest of the world was like this. Yeah.
I definitely do. So.
Well, thank you, Allie, for being on. We're so grateful that you came on. We're happy to share what you guys do and also showcase the history that of your experience that you bring to this little corner that we live in.
I'm coming to get some soups this weekend and
All right.
meatballs.
I want to.
I'm
We're here.
stocking up.
Can we come and go a Thursday night, Tracy, and do the,
Oh, yeah,
the
you should do
noodles?
that.
I want to
Okay.
do that Thursday night.
That's vegetarian also, and we're doing it till it gets cold, so do it quick because I'm hoping that it gets warm within the next month.
Okay.
And that's Thursday night, ready to go. Like eat, you get it warm, you eat it then, kind of deal. That's not a take home and thing,
No,
right?
well, you do take it home, but you just call up on Thursday, or you can even call on Wednesday and just say, like, I'm going to come pick it up at 5 o'clock, and we have it ready for you.
Perfect. Picnic.
All right.
I mean, Tracy, we're gonna have a
Sunita,
picnic.
you pick it up and bring it over to my house.
Perfect. Or
Okay.
we go to your beach, have a picnic. The weather's getting warmer.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Thank you,
All right, you guys.
everybody.
Thank
Have
you.
a great weekend.
Thank you, Allie.
See you next
Bye.
Friday. Bye.
Bye.